All right, I want to start off by giving our praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakah Kadesh. Double honors to the elders and apostles that taught me this truth. All right, now I'm going to do this one without the new covenant. There is no grace. All right, now don't really understand where the debate about are we in the new covenant or not come from. We are definitely in the new covenant. Learned it from your plantation Christianity church. All right. That's pretty much not a plantation Christian church. They don't teach that you in the new government. So everyone should know that. So that shouldn't be foreign for anyone in the truth. But that covenant is not complete yet. All right. But the grace that's in that covenant only exists inside that covenant. All right. So if you want in the new covenant, then you cannot be saved by grace. You have to keep the law. All right. Now, let me just start off with First Corinthians, the ninth chapter. I think I want to start around verse 24. Know ye not that ye which run in a race run out, but one receives the prize, so run that ye might attain it. And every man that strives for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they do it to attain the corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible crown. All right, so this is all about getting the incorruptible crown. I therefore so run, not as uncertainly, so I fight. I not as one that beateth the earth, but I keep under my body and bring it into suggestion. That's that by any means when I preach to others, I myself should be a castaway. All right, now so pretty much, if you're teaching this truth, it don't matter how much work you don't put in, how much time you don't spend. You know, if you're not letting people know about the grace of Yahweh Shai or Mashiach, then you will be a castaway. And this grace only exists in the new covenant. All right, so nobody wants to put in all this time, energy, and work just to be a castaway. Now, this is John chapter 1, verse 12. But as many as receive him, to them give he power to become the son of Yahweh, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, near a will of the flesh, nor a will of man, but of Yahweh. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we behold his glory, and the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he on whom I spoke. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of the fullness rece- have all we received in grace for grace. For the law was given by Moses, but grace and truth came by Yahweh Shah of Mashiach. So this is letting you know that we get grace from Yahweh Shah, right? Which, the word ignorantly calls Jesus. All right, Yahweh Shah of Mashiach is where grace comes from. All right, and now man have seen Yahweh. No man has seen Yahweh at any time. The only begotten Son, which is blossom of the Father, he had declared him. All right, so it's all about Yahweh. And this is the record of John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, Who art thou? And he confessed and denied not, but confessed, I am not the Amashiach. All right, so this is John letting everyone know that he wasn't, Yahushua. And they asked him, what then, are thou Elijah? And he said, I am not. Are thou that prophet? And he answered, no. Then said they unto him, who art thou, that we might give an answer to them that sent us? What sayest thou of thyself? And he says, I am the voice of the one crying in the wilderness, making straight the way of the Lord, as said the prophet Elijah. All right. So pretty much, he came to get the people minds and hearts ready to accept Yahweh. All right. And they which were sent were of the Pharisees. And they asked him and said unto him, why baptize thou then, if thou be not that of Mashiach? For Elijah neither that prophet. And John answered them, saying, I baptize with water, but stands one among you, whom you know, who ye know not. He it is who come after me is preferred before me, whose shoe lashes I am not worthy to unloosen. These things were done in baptism beyond Jordan, where John was baptized. The next day, John see Jesus coming unto him and said, behold, the Lamb of Yahweh, which takes away the sin of the world. All right, so this is letting you know that Yahweh was that lamb. All right, he was the sacrificing lamb for the new covenant. All right, at this time, the new covenant hadn't begun. All right, because it didn't begin until he died on the cross. That was the reason the veil ripped. Now, he's the sacrificing lamb that takes us away the sin. Now you get 2 John, the first chapter, right? And I'm going to start at the top. The elder unto the elect lady and her children, whom I love in the truth, and not only in truth, and not I only, but also all they that have known the truth. For the truth's sake, which dwells in us, and we should be with us forever. Grace be with you, mercy and peace from Yahweh the Father, and from the Lord Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Son of the Father, in truth and love. I rejoice greatly that I have found of thy children walking in truth, as we received a commandment from the Father. All right, so this is the commandment we received from the Father. And now I beseech thee, lady, not as though I write a new commandment unto thee, but that which we have been from the beginning, that we love one another. And this is the commandment that Yahweh Shah said he added, to the laws, that you love one another. All right, us brothers, this is in this truth. 6 verse. And this is love, that we walk after his commandments. This is the commandments that, as ye have heard from the beginning, you should walk in it. All right, so this is the Lord saying love is to walk after his commandments, do the things that are pleasing to him. And his commandments are the things that were written in the old laws. All right, and this is what the Plantation Church gets wrong about grace. All right, grace doesn't mean that you should just break the law at will. It just means that there's forgiveness whenever you do go off, but you should still try your best to keep the Lord's commandments the best you can. For many deceivers are entered into the world, who confess not that Yahweh Shah Mashiach is come in the flesh. This is a deceiver and an antichrist. All right, so if you are preaching against the new covenant, you are a antichrist. All right, that it is no getting around it. All right, so we are definitely have started the new covenant. It is just not complete. And if you preach against it, that makes you an antichrist. Look to yourselves that we lose not these things which we have wrought, but that we receive a full reward. Whoever transgress and abides not in the doctrine of a Mashiach has not Yahweh. He that abides in the doctrine of a Mashiach, he had brought the Father in the Son. If there come any unto you and bring not this doctrine, receive him not into your house, neither bid him Godspeed. So if they don't believe in Yahweh Shah or Yahweh, then you don't got nothing to do with it. Alright, and one of the ways you show, you believe the things which they wrote. For he for he that abide him, for he that bids him Godspeed is partaker of his evil deeds. So if you accept someone who's doing wrong and going against the Lord's laws, you become a partaker of their evil deeds. Now, this is Matthew chapter 5, all right, 17. All right. Think not that I have come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill. And this is something that this is what the plantation Christian churches get wrong. The Lord did not come to get rid of the law, but to fulfill the law. All right. And then he fulfilled the law, fulfilled that old covenant when he died on the cross in the veil ripped. And that signifies the start of the new covenant. Grace. Grace is a piece of the new covenant. The new covenant is not completed, but it has definitely started. There's no getting around it. For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle should in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled. Who Whosoever therefore should break one of these least commandments and should teach men so, he should be called the least in the kingdom of heaven. But whoever should do and teach them, the same should be called great in the kingdom of heaven. So if you're telling people to go against the law, you are going to be considered least in the kingdom of heaven. All right. For I say unto you, that except your righteousness should exceed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, ye should in no case enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. All right, so it's saying you gotta succeed the righteousness of the scribes and Pharisees, and we know these are the men who were experts of the law. All right, so it goes into like you see today, these camps, today preaching the law, the law, the law. Your righteousness gotta succeed their righteousness, or else you cannot enter into the kingdom. Now, this is Hebrews chapter 9 and verse 11. All right, but Yahushua, but Amashiach being come and high priest of good things to come by a greater and more perfect tabernacle, not made with hands, that is to say, not of this building. All right. Neither by the blood of the goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered into one. He entered once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. For if the blood of bulls and of goats and the ash of the heifer sprinkling the unclean sanctify to the purifying of the flesh, how much more should the blood of Mashiach, who through the eternal Spirit offered himself without spot to Yahweh, purge your consciousness from dead works to serving the living Yahweh? All right, so pretty much this is saying how much more powerful was Yahweh Shah blood when it comes, to wiping away our sins. If the blood of just goats was good enough, who lived a perfect, sinless life. All right, so that is also how because blood is what signifies, entering into a new covenant. So there's no way of getting around us being in a new covenant. And another reason that it is so important to understand this, um, you can never truly break nothing down, explain nothing, or win any kind of argument with a plantation Christian if you don't realize you in the new covenant, all right? Because they gonna rip you apart with them scriptures, and you're gonna be trying to go back and forth, but in your head it's gonna be like it makes sense. That's why you gotta understand grace, and you gotta understand you in the new covenant. It's gonna be very, very hard for you to minister to a lot of people. All right, it's gonna hinder you greatly. All right, now what was our 14th verse? How much more should the blood of a Mashiach, who got through the eternal spirit, offer himself without a spot to Yahweh, purge your conscience from the dead works to serve the living Yahweh? And for this cause, he is the mediator of the new covenant that made by means of death for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, that which are called might receive the promises of eternal inheritance. And now, one of the reasons, this whole section is called the New Testament, because Testament is a covenant. All right, so this is the new covenant of the Bible. So when you hear people try to argue that the new covenant hasn't begun yet, you just kind of look at them like, huh? So this is also why Old Testament only Israelites don't preach the New Testament, because they understand that it's the new covenant. So if you preaching this and you don't understand this is the new covenant, it's kind of mind-boggling, to be honest. Because like I said, the Plantation Christian Church been knowing this for years and been teaching this for years, that the New Testament is the new covenant, because it is. And even though it ain't complete, we are definitely in it. Yahweh Shai dying on the cross was the end of the old covenant. That's why the veil ripped. I keep saying this because, I was wanting this to sink into people, so that grace is what we are under now, but grace is part of the new covenant. The new covenant won't be complete until Yahweh shall return, but we are definitely in it. There's just no getting around it. All right, I'm read that 15th verse again. And for this cause, he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament, that which are called might receive the promise of eternal life, eternal inheritance. My man. For where a testament is, there must also of necessary be the death of the testator. All right. So pretty much, you gotta have the death of the testator. All right. For a testament is of force after men are dead. Otherwise, it is of no strength of our while the testator live. So, all right. So it's a this the testament is started after the man is dead. So when Howard Shots started, this chapter is literally telling you this is when the New Testament started. All right. Whereupon neither the first testament was dedicated without blood. All right. So it was his blood dying on the cross that dedicated the New Testament. All right. For when Moses has spoken every precept to all the people according to the law, he took the blood of calves and of goats with water and with scarlet wood and with the hyssop and sprinkled both the book and all the people, saying, "This is the blood of the testament which Yahweh had enjoined unto you." All right. So he sprinkled this, and this is what started this covenant. This is how the first covenant started. Moreover, he sprinkled with blood both the tabernacle and all the vessels of the ministry. And almost all things are by the law purged with blood. So without the shedding of blood is no remission. It was therefore necessary that the patterns of things in the heavens should be purified with these, but the heavenly things themselves with better sacrifice than these. For a Mashiach is not entered into the holy places or made with hands, which are figures of the truth, but into the heavens itself, now to appear in the presence of Yahweh for us. See what that's going on right now? Yahweh Shah It's before Yahweh pleading his case for us so that, we can be saved and that, we can get into this new kingdom. All right. So he is ironing out the details to this new covenant as we speak. But, the covenant has already started because his blood, his dying on the cross, was the beginning of that covenant. Now, yet, that he should offer himself often as the highest priest enter into the holy place every year with the blood of others. Right. For then must he offer a sacrifice since the foundation of the world. But now, once in the end of the world, has he appeared to put away sin by sacrifice of himself. So Yahweh Shai died for all the sin we committed in past lives and all the sin we committed now to the end of the world, to the end of Esau rulership. All right, that's what his blood was for, to wash away all these sins, so that we have a chance to make it into the kingdom, the elect say. And then end, as it is appointed to a man once to die, but after this the judgment. So a Mashiach was offered to bear the sins of many, and unto them that look for him should be he appear the second time without sin unto salvation. All right, so Yahweh Shah went up on that cross for us to have this second covenant, for us to have this grace in order to make it in to Yahweh Shah. Now, this is Hebrews chapter 10, and I'm going to start at verse 23. All right, let us hold fast the profession of our faith without wavering, for he is faithful that promise. And let us consider one another to vote unto love and to good works. All right. Not forsaking the assembly of ourselves together as the manner of some is, but exhorting one another in so much the more as ye see the days approaching. All right, so instead of spending so much time bickering and arguing, brothers should spend more time trying to build each other up for what we got to go through in the future. All right, for if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifices for sin. So this is saying if you deny Yahweh Shah, there remains no more sacrifice for sin. And denying Yahweh Shah also goes into, denying his new covenant, which he died on the cross for us to have. All right, that is denying Yahweh Shah. And that takes away your sacrifice for sin. All right, so that is taking away, your salvation. All right, the non-new covenant takes away your salvation, and it's right there in the scriptures, Hebrews 10:26. For if we sin willfully, after that we have received the knowledge of the truth, there remains no more sacrifice for sin. All right, so that is very important, not to be speaking against this thing, but a certain fearful looking for of judgment and fiery indignation which should devour the adversary. He that despised Moses' law died without mercy under 2 or 3 witnesses. All right. So that is why Yahweh Shah God, because for breaking the law, all of us had committed sins worthy of death. So without his grace, we can't make it in. Of how much sore punishment suppose ye should he be through worthy who have trodden underfoot the Son of Yahweh and have counted the blood of the covenant right there. You tried it underfoot, the Son of Yahweh, and have counted the blood of the covenant. So what covenant is this talking about? Counting the blood of what covenant? All right, the new covenant, where he he was sacrificed an unholy thing, my bad, where he has sanctified an unholy thing and have done despise unto the spirit of grace. All right, so this is also in this one verse too, showing you that the blood of the covenant in the spirit of grace, all right, that the grace resides within the new covenant. All right. And if you deny it, all right, you are trodden underfoot the Son of Yahweh and have counted the blood of his covenant, wherein he was sanctified an unholy thing. All right. So, and he have done despise unto the spirit of grace. All right. So you are calling his covenant, the blood of his covenant, an unholy thing. All right. Which is not very wise. For we know him that has said, vengeance belongs unto me, and I will recompense, said the Lord. And again, the Lord should judge his people. It is a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living Yahweh. All right, so you do not really want to be denying this new covenant. All right, I know what they are saying, but if you putting yourself on the wrong side of a very, very serious issue by denying this new covenant. All right. Now this is on First John chapter 2, and I'm just gonna start at the top. My little children, these things I write unto you that ye sin not. All right, cause just because we got grace right now, it's still very important to be trying to keep these laws and not sinning. And if any man sin, we have an advocate with the Father, Yahweh Shah Mashiach, the righteous. All right, so it is letting you know that we have Yahweh Shah to plead for us if we do sin. All right, and hereby we do know that we know Him if we keep His commandments. So we got to keep the Lord's commandments. All right, so that is very important. All right, so it's very important to remember to keep the Lord's commandment. He that says, I know him, and keep not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him. But whoever keeps his words, in him verily is the love of Yahweh perfect. Hereby know we that we are in him. He that said he abides in him, out himself also so to walk, even as he walked. Brethren, I write no new commandment unto you, but an old commandment which ye have had from the beginning. The old commandment is the word which ye have heard from the beginning. So what was in the Old Testament? And again, a new commandment I write unto you, which things is true in him and in you, because the darkness is past and the truth light now shines. He that sitteth, he is in the light and hated his brother is in the darkness until now. All right, so he that says he is in the light and hated his brother is in the darkness until now. So you can't say you in this truth if you speaking down, going against and hating on your brothers. He that loves his brothers abide in the light, and there is no occasion of stumbling in him. All right, so they're just letting you know if you love your brothers, there's no occasions of stumbling in you. But he that hateth his brothers is in the darkness and walks in darkness and knows not whither he goes because the darkness has blinded his eyes. All right, so you cannot find this light. You cannot be all the way in this truth if you got hate for your brothers. All right. I write unto you, little children, because your sins are forgiven you for his name's sakes. And it's going into Yahushua. I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I write unto you, young man, because ye have overcome the wicked one. I write unto you, little children, because ye have known the Father. All right. I write unto you, fathers, because ye have known him that is from the beginning. I write unto you, young man, because ye are strong in the word of Yahweh abide in you, and ye have overcome the wicked one. All right, and love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man loves the world, love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, lust of the flesh, and the lust of the eyes, and the pride of life, is not of the Father, but is of the world. And the world passes away, and the lust thereof. But he that does the will of Yahweh abides forever. All right, and with that, I'm just gonna end it right there. And just wanted to reiterate that grace only exists if in the new covenant. If you don't believe in the new covenant, you're not in the new covenant, then you don't have grace. All right, you are required to keep everything that's in the Old Testament of the Bible. There's just no getting around it. So, and as you can see, you are speaking against Yahweh Shah by speaking against the new covenant. And it's a lot of brothers, just speaking, running out at the mouth, not fully understanding what they are saying, just taking themselves um out of the good place, putting themselves in the bad place, getting rid of their own salvation, all right, by wanting to speak up and say things that they know not what they're saying, all right. You can't speak against the new covenant, all right. You can't use any kind of language you want to when dealing with this subject, all right. And yes, we are definitely in the new covenant. Yahweh Shai died on the cross was to signify the end of the old covenant. That's why the veil ripped. And his blood was the beginning of the new covenant. And we are under grace. And he's meeting right now with the Father, Yahweh, earning out the details to this covenant. And this covenant will be complete upon his return. So we're definitely in the new covenant. It's just the new covenant, just not complete yet. And that's when, Israel will have, their high state and all that when everything is finished. And with that, I'm going to say, Shalom.